I kind of bounced in and out of Sunday school and church growing up. My family was kind of church mutts, groping to find our faith. And for me, I came in high school to have a real relationship with Jesus. Heading into my junior year, went to a summer camp, kind of a signature story, but for whatever reason, the gospel came home to me in that time, and I was changed by it. It turned my life upside down, and that turned into a really cool season of doing youth ministry. Actually, I was teaching the middle school ministry at my church, and because of that, I wanted to go to college, but I also wanted to go in ministry, and so I kind of split the difference by starting at the hometown college, the state university, and doing ministry. And I have to say, it was going to that first year at State University that I found my vocation. And it came actually through a really challenging, critical time of crisis where I don't know if I almost lost my faith, but my faith was challenged. And I realized for the first time, I got to fight for my faith. And I can't be simple minded about this. And in that season, I realized that the Christians around me, in the spirit of childlike and simple faith, they were unwilling at times to ask the harder questions about why do we rely on the Bible? How do we know God exists? Why do we think Jesus was raised from the dead as the anchor of our faith? And so I started to kind of have to fight for my faith. And through that, by God's grace, I learned about a Christian liberal arts college and I transferred there. I didn't know about George Fox, but I transferred to a place called Wheaton out in Illinois. And it was there that I almost had what felt like a second conversion, you might call it, where not only was my heart brought to the Lord, but my intellect too. And I was able to integrate my faith with my love of learning. And it was in that marriage of faith and learning that I had a renaissance in my soul. And I had some amazing teachers there who could connect the dots for me. And I thought, I would love to go mentor and teach a generation of students like I was coming out of public school or out of state university, and show them a road where faith and learning are not incompatible but are married. When I studied early Christianity, which I did that first kind of 300 or 400 years after the New Testament, I studied it all, but I focused on Augustine, which took a lot of time. And so I've kind of seen him as like a dead mentor who's helped me think about the relationship between my faith and all of our life. And just that way, that gritty way where we think about the practical consequences of our belief in Jesus for the way we live our common lives out in the world. I think nothing could be more relevant for us today. So I kind of have always thought, how do you take the Bible and important Christian authors from the past and bring their thought into the present? So that's what I've been doing in my own scholarly work as I try to write and think about these things. It's also what I do when I teach at George Fox. So some of my best moments at George Fox have been having conversations with students and asking them, how do you think your faith and love for Jesus makes a difference? And seeing the way my students do that has been an education for me, because one of the kind of sad but beautiful things now is I feel that I'm of a different generation finally from my 19, 20-year-old students. And I see now that they see the world, they see culture, they think of their faith's relationship to the world differently than I do. And so I'm now learning and being apprenticed to them. And one of the coolest parts about being a teacher is that it's not a one class or 2 year, 3 year window, but these are lifelong friendships. At a place like George Fox, you're given the time and the space, and what beautiful space we have here in this campus, to form friendships in which your mind and your heart are sharpened. And it's a kind of intellectual and spiritual friendship around learning that has the power to change you and change the trajectory that you're on, no matter what career you end up going into in the world.